Hello, ladies and gentlemen! This is the Mystery Writer speaking, and welcome to the show. Now, before I begin, I just wanted to let you all know that Scarlett de Winter, the editor and publisher of Army of Broken Dolls, has officially fixed a typo of my misspelled name. I personally didn't think it was that big of a deal, but she was very adamant that this get resolved as quickly as possible. She wants to make the magazine here the best that it can be. And can I just say something real quick? Hold on just a second. Scarlett, let me just say that your magazine here is of a real high quality. In fact, I still have the very first literary magazine that I was published in. It was a college one. See how flimsy that is? It's just whatever. I never even really bothered to read any of the other people's works in it because, I don't know, I had a falling out with these people years ago, and many of the people who ran this literary clubs, writers, creative writing club, were a bunch of jerks. But anyways, this right here, on the other hand, this is something that I can get behind because it is really high quality stuff. The photography is great, the paper is great. Again, going back to this thing over here, it's kind of flimsy and cheap. This is worth your money. This is worth money. And I understand that Scarlett de Winters really wants to make this a success. And so far, I think she has done that. She is practically a one-woman army because she's doing this by herself. She is running this magazine by herself. She's doing all the editing, all the publishing. It's absolutely amazing what she's doing. And again, she really wanted to let everybody know that the mistake was fixed. And again, she's running a magazine by herself. Mistakes are bound to happen. It's okay. I mean, look at anything written by the likes of Stephen King, one of the greatest modern authors of our time. You're going to see mistakes in his writing. I have looked through many a Stephen King work and seen double V's, the, in paragraphs. By the way, the reason why there are some thes in some writing is it's a, how do I describe this? It's a literary technique in where a person usually doesn't know how to proceed, so he just repeats the same word over and over again. So until they get the momentum going again and finish the rest of the sentence. And sometimes what ends up happening is that the extra word or two is completely missed, and, well, it's left in the finished product. So, I mean, even professionals, even people on the professional level or the mainstream level make mistakes. Mistakes slip through the cracks. It's absolutely okay. But yeah, this is high quality stuff. And I just want to let everybody know that the mistake has been fixed. Still a funny story, but the mistake has been fixed. I am no longer Norse Va. Although one of my brother-in-laws actually had a really nice joke about it. I'll have to tell you guys about it sometime. Nobody's perfect. People make mistakes, and it's absolutely okay. I mean, I have Grammarly on my laptop, for crying out loud, because sometimes I let typos and stuff get in the way. I let them slip. I don't check my stuff as much as I should. A lot of the times I like to not really go into like a second or third draft, but it's stuff that we all have to learn and get through in order to become better. So I really hope this this works out, and this helps out in some regard. And I just wanted to let you all know that Scarlett fixed the mistake, and everything's fine now. If you want to purchase it, you can purchase it on Blurb, I believe the site is called. So yeah, just check it out if you want to. I mean, especially for if not for my story, just check it out for this amazing art like this right here. That is freaking cool. All this art right here is worth the money. Look at that. That stuff is cool. I'll get to this a little bit more here in a few minutes. But first, before I get to that, I just wanted to let you all know of an additional update. Jeremy Halbrana's Kickstarter has officially been funded. They have reached their goal of $1,500. No thanks to me. But here's the thing. I think with our help, we could probably get this Kickstarter to at least 2,000, maybe 2,500. I think we can give them additional funds to really make this product, make this comic book the best it can absolutely be. Now then, I was reminded of something from this particular magazine. The work of Caroline Dahlgren and her amazing yet creepy paintings. Look at that right there. That is amazing stuff. You know what her work reminds me of? It reminds me of the work of Vincent Van Gogh. Vincent Van Gogh, considered by many to be the father of modern art, this eccentric mind was grossly underrated during his lifetime, becoming internationally famous only after death. His paintings are now considered masterpieces, with Starry Sky being among his most famous and beloved works. So it only makes sense to make a movie off of his work, based off his life. But what movie am I talking about? Well, it just so happens that since I've been doing a series of reviews of animated films on this channel, of course there's going to be an animated film about the life and death of Vincent Van Gogh. This sadly underlooked and underappreciated film was released in 2017 and was funded partially by Polish Film Institute, but it also has the distinction of being the first Kickstarter movie to be nominated for the Oscar for Best Feature Film. That's right! This is a Kickstarter film. This film was partially funded by a Kickstarter campaign. Isn't that something? The more you know. Not only that, but this was actually the first and only film of its kind. It's a completely painted film. That's right. Well over 125 classically trained painters were hired to paint 65,000 frames of painted gold. Loving Vincent is nothing short of a masterpiece, in my opinion. The production history of this film is nothing short but extraordinary. This film uses an animation technique known as rotoscoping. Rotoscoping, basically, how do I describe this? It's basically making this film twice. You have a live action element, which you then draw over and make it into an animated sequence that is surprisingly lifelike. The best examples of rotoscoping in animation film include the opening sequence of Heavy Metal, a segment of 2 of Yellow Submarine, and of course, A Scanner's Darkly. And where, yes, again, they made the film twice. Practically entirely by live action, and then animated over it. The same is true for Loving Vincent. They had live action actors perform in front of green screens and then superimpose the paintings of Vincent Van Gogh as the backgrounds. That's right. This film literally brings to life the works of Vincent Van Gogh. And it's amazing. Now, the most famous actor involved in this film is probably Irish actress Saoirse Ronan, Academy Award nominee and probably the single best performance in the entire film. She plays the potential love interest of Vincent Van Gogh. She's the daughter of his doctor and the subject of many of his paintings. While the film is a sort of biographical depiction of Vincent van Gogh's life, the film actually revolves around Armand Rollin, the son of the postman and one of Vincent van Gogh's few friends, who sends his son off to deliver a letter to Vincent's brother, only to discover that Vincent's brother had actually died 6 months after his brother's death. Mostly due to a broken heart, but also partially because of, something wrong with the downstairs building. Anyways, so he goes off and practically investigates, the circumstances leading up to Vincent van Gogh's untimely demise, his supposed suicide, which is actually interesting because this I didn't actually know. I didn't know until watching this film about the circumstances surrounding his death. I mean, yeah, everyone knows about him chopping off his ear and giving it to his favorite hooker, and everyone knows that he committed suicide. But what many people do not know is that there's some speculation that he might have not have actually committed suicide, but in fact was murdered. Apparently, the summer before he died, this rowdy bunch of kids that Vincent van Gogh would hang around with, led by the rambunctious Renee, who around that time was dressing up as a cowboy, flailing around a real gun. And in fact, in a credit scene, it was later revealed that Renee became a wealthy banker, and in his within his elderly years, confessed that his gun that he waved around all over the place that summer was the gun that killed Vincent van Gogh, but did not say that he murdered him, but instead Vincent van Gogh stole his gun in order to commit suicide. Now, I'm not going to go more into the plot other than it plays out like an episode of Columbo, where Armand Rollin plays the role of detective. Not the suave kind, but rather the one that seems to be 10 steps ahead of you, but at the same time makes it feel as though you are the smarter of the two of them. If you don't know what Columbo is, well, that's what Google's for. And I'm definitely showing my age. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so, what exactly is this movie? Well, as I said before, it's a masterpiece. It's a shame that not more people actually went to see this movie because it's a masterpiece. It is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece film. It is a miraculous film to behold. And it really gives you a new appreciation for Vincent van Gogh and his life. Because that's what this movie is about. It's about life. It takes place in the aftermath of Vincent Van Gogh's death, but it's a celebration of life. It's a bittersweet film, and where we had to accept the fact that we may not ever truly know the answers. Did Renee kill Vincent? Or did Vincent kill himself in the most outlandish way possible by shooting himself in the gut and in refusing medical help and just lying in bed for 2 days in agonizing pain without saying a word other than, I shot myself. I tried to commit suicide. Oh my gosh. This film is powerful. Not to mention the fact that it probably has one of, if not the best, opening title sequence of the 2010s. It is beautiful, especially with all the moving paint. It almost looks like stop motion in a way, and I love it. It is a true masterclass of animation. Now, I did say that this film was nominated for an Oscar, but it lost to I'm sure you've heard of this film. I mean, it's just a little film from a little studio called Pixar. It's called Coco. That's right. Coco won the Oscar while this film was nominated. And I'm also planning on doing a review of The Breadwinner, another film that was also nominated alongside of Loving Vincent and Coco. I mean, let's be perfectly honest here. Coco is probably one of the best Pixar films to come out of this decade, of the last decade, excuse me. And yeah, Coco did deserve the win because, I mean, have you seen Coco? The textures were so good and lifelike, and the story is so good with all the music. I may do a review of it sometime in the future, but yeah, back to Loving Vincent. Loving Vincent is an underrated film. I think people really need to seek out this film and watch it for themselves because it is that great of a movie. The acting is great, the dialogue is great, the noir aspects of it are great. But what really sets this movie apart from its contemporaries is the art and the style of it. It is a painted film, completely experimental. You don't see that these days with animation. I mean, everyone's gotten too safe. Everyone's gotten too reliant on CGI, and I mean, the Nostalgia Critic even pointed out that in his Grinch review, not the live action Grinch review, the animated Grinch review, that all these animated films start the same. They all have the same kinds of plots, the same kinds of characters, the same art style, pretty much. Except Pixar. Pixar just does his own thing, for the most part. But yeah. And Loving Vincent is an original film with an original concept. I mean, you have a film that, while they do the more present day, aka the year after Vincent dies, it's colored. But if we're going into a flashback, it's black and white. And it's beautiful. It's beautifully done. This film is beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful animated films you will ever see. I guarantee it. And it's for those reasons that I give this film a 5 out of 5. Well, that's about all the time I have for today. Don't forget to support Scarlett de Winter's endeavors with the wonderful magazine, Army of Broken Dolls. And don't forget to support all these amazing artists featured within, who probably should be thankful for Vincent Van Gogh, I might add. Like Jay Freestyle, the tattoo artist. Mimi Choi. Charlie Savage of Strange World Photography. And again, I still want to make a story off that photo. And that one. The Popovi sisters. Oh, by the way, an interesting fact that I didn't mention about the Popovi sisters in the previous video. Apparently they've made dolls for some famous people. I'm sure you've heard of them. I mean, it's not like you've never heard of, I don't know, Marilyn Manson, Johnny Depp, Madonna. Yeah, these two have made dolls for those people. Just think about that for a minute. Wait, is that a doll? Wait, is that a doll of Marilyn Manson? Did I miss that in my previous video? Caroline Gagrin. She probably has the most to be thankful for Vincent Van Gogh. Nico Nerdo, who's actually from Vincent Van Gogh's neck of the woods. He's French. Yes, I know Vincent Van Gogh wasn't French, but let's not forget, Vincent Van Gogh was in France for a time. Krishna Ver. And while I'm not necessarily a visual artist in terms of, the same as these people. I'm more of a writer. But still, to be included in that magazine is 100% an honor. And please, please, people, support Scarlett de Winters and Army of Broken Dolls. And don't forget to pledge to Jeremy Brana's Kickstarter, Brief but Unsettling Home Videos. I myself have pledged $9. That gives you a PDF copy of the finished comic book. And of course, you can pledge anything from as low to as $1 if you want to. But I might just guilt you into doing it anyways. Well, anyways, this has been the Mystery Writer speaking, and until next time, sayonara! What, no cool exit this time? What, you want me to go like, wah? Or should I go like, wah? Or should I go, ah? Nah, I'm just gonna click the red button there and just turn off the video in 3, 2,